Hey everybody, Vince Ingenito here. I'm sitting down with my buddy, Mike Aransky. How you doing, buddy?
Hey buddy, what's up?
Doing good, doing good. We're sitting here talking some Vita stuff.
Yeah.
Yesterday was an interesting day because some rumors were flying around that there might be a new revision of the Vita coming through sometime in the future. Turns out those rumors not so solid, but it got us to thinking, what would we like in a new revision of the Vita? You're the other Vita fan in the office, really, along with me. What would you like to see?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm a big fan of the Vita. It's definitely that kind of like, it's very culty in that way. Like we really enjoy it, but a lot of people are like, oh,
we're a family.
Yeah, that's right. I love both sides of the story, but I love all the handle. But this whole thing really got me kind of like thinking about what can we do with this and what can we get if we actually got another one. Which, if we ever even got another one, by the way, I was super surprised to hear this conversation yesterday. It was like someone brought it up. I was like, what? If that was the case, the big thing for me would be I would love remote play. I know that there's some issues with it when it comes to streaming, and it kind of breaks up, it's a little janky sometimes, but in certain cases, really awesome. And the reason that I have an issue with the Vita is that you get the trigger situation happening. Yeah, like it doesn't like it's
that back touch just is not a good replacement for those buttons.
I was gonna point this out. The back touch thing, real cool in Tearaway. For the rest of the games I played out there, not such a game thing. I kind of wish we were just kind of like, let's move past that. And getting some triggers on the back would be nice to actually feel like it's a DualShock kind of style.
Yeah, I mean, the new 3DS got that, right? They added the two more buttons on the top so that you had kind of a forward trigger setup. Yeah, I don't see any reason why a new Vita couldn't do that. Totally with you. And like you said, not everyone uses remote play, but you're a dad. The TV's being used a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes
the wife gets the TV. So how does dad have time himself? Well,
it's the remote play. Yeah, so I can totally understand that. For me, the big thing that I want to see is I want to see a return of the OLED screen. I totally get that they wanted to cut costs. They wanted to make manufacturing more efficient for themselves, and that's great. If it's good for their business, it's good for us ultimately because the more successful they are, the more stable they'll be, the more products and the more games we'll see. But that all being said, to me, the difference between the OLED screen and the LCD screen are night and day.
I mean, it's a beautiful image, but there's kind of casualties of that, which is battery drain.
Sure, there's the battery drain. So if you can find maybe a more efficient battery, a bigger battery that'll fit in the same form factor, battery technology is always moving forward. So I would rather see, even if it meant the system was actually a little bit heavier, I don't mind weight.
Yeah.
I don't even mind
picture. That's what you want.
Exactly. Yeah. I want it to look beautiful. And that's for me the breaking point with the new 3DS because it's the same resolution screen but like stretched bigger. Yeah. So I'm like, I can't even look at that. So I'm really a stickler about that stuff. Let's talk about the possibility of HDMI out because some people thought that was going to be on this. Turns out, debunked, rumored new revision. But would an HDMI out be of value to you? I think a lot of people feel like, hey, if I'm playing this on the go, if I'm going to play something that's on my home system, but at home, a lot of times, I guess I could just be playing something on my PS4, right? How do you feel about that? Would you use an HDMI out?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I've got a PlayStation TV, which is considerably probably the most unsupported thing ever came out from PlayStation. But the point is, like, basically that was kind of a hybrid of the breakout HDMI and then kind of separate of the Vita, basically. So the idea was to have that kind of, like, a separate box kind of setup. I think the HDMI out is an interesting idea. It should be told, on the original Vita, there was speculation that the extra port underneath the console was designed to be an HDMI out, and they just didn't add the extra chipset to it. In that point on. And I thought that was an interesting idea at the time. Then after that point on, they basically released two Vitas, and they released it with the PlayStation TV and the Vita, the second version, the 2000. And so this idea was an interesting concept to me, like that they were going to break out, have these separate pieces. The HDMI, having it plugged right to a TV,
what would you use it for?
I mean, the only thing I would do it for is like I'm going on trips. I'm like, hey, I'm in a hotel room. I'm like, I want to pop my Vita in and just like play some of that and basically Bluetooth using my DualShock 4.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you're right. If you're on the go and you're at a hotel and you want a bigger picture, obviously you don't have a PS4 in your pocket that you can do that with. I think for at home though, there's a use too. Even though a lot of people are like, hey, well, why would I play? For instance, Helldivers. Everyone knows I love Helldivers. But it's like, why would I play the Vita version blown up to a big screen when I can just play the PS4 version?
Sure.
Well, first of all, you might not have the PS4 version, right? You might not have a PS4. You might not have a PS3. But second of all, there are games that I love on the Vita that are only on the Vita and aren't available on the home consoles. Like, for instance, I know you're not a fan, but I love Luft trousers. I'm a huge fan of Luft trousers. Huge fan of
I don't
Devolver
love
Digital.
it. I appreciate what it is, but yeah.
No, sure, but I mean, I really dig that game.
Sure.
I would love to play that on like a big screen. A lot of Vita games actually look surprisingly nice when you blow them up that way. If you've ever seen it from a development kit,
Sure.
It can look really good. Also, it'd be nice because I think that one of the issues that the Vita has is it's really hard to capture off of, and the fact that it's hard to capture off of makes it hard for us as an outlet, as a media outlet, to really show a lot of great video content.
Yeah.
And there's game. I think it's one of the reasons why the Vita suffered a little bit is because it's not easy for us as a media outlet to show people, hey, look, this is this cool game on the Vita. This is how good it looks.
Interesting point. Like that's actually even thought like for like Twitch players and stuff like that. Like things like
Sure.
that where you want to be able to live stream that
Sure.
stuff. Like you just don't have that option really.
Yeah.
I mean that's the problem right now. And like PlayStation TV, actually you can't do that. That's actually blocked.
Yeah.
So like it's really puts the Vita in a position where like, hey, you want to show off your hot new title? You really don't have an outlet.
You don't have a great way to do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's hurt the system because everyone will just still say, hey, there's no games. That's not true, but the problem is like how as a media outlet or how just as like a streamer do you show that without an HDMI out? So that's something else I would love.
Yeah.
Thank you really so much, Mike, for I know you have a lot of thoughts about the Vita. I really always appreciate talking to you. We do this on the train pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to do it in front of the camera. Thanks for joining me, and for more on the PS Vita and more on video games, keep it right here on IGN.